Edward cracks a nut. Edward the Blue Engine had a busy day, and as he stopped at the last station before the junction, he was looking forward to getting home. Beep beep, get in quickly please, he whistled to the passengers. The people had got in quickly, and Edward's driver pulled the lever. But Edward found that he couldn't move. The drivers clambered down and checked Edward's brakes, but he couldn't find anything wrong. Whatever can be the matter, he wondered. He gave it one more steam, and this time he started. But Edward went only a little way before he stopped with a groan. It's no good, the driver said to the fireman. Something's holding us back. Go and see if the guard can help. So the fireman jumped onto the platform and ran along to the guard's van. What's wrong? Asked the guard. Why haven't we left? We reckon that the brakes are on, said the fireman. Are yours all right? It should be, replied the guard. He reached for the handle and tried to turn it, but it wouldn't move. The fireman helped, but even together they couldn't turn it. So they called the driver. But even with 3 men, it made no difference. The brake handle was stuck fast. The driver sighed. He was very worried. If we don't start soon, we'll miss Henry at Wellsworth. Let's give Edward everything he got and hope for the best. It will be hard work, he told Edward, but I'm sure you will do your best. Edward doubtfully agreed. I'll try, sir. Come on, come on, come on, he puffed furiously. With smoke and steam pouring from his funnel, the train slowly moved out. Once they were moving, things became easier. But no matter how hard he tried, he found that he couldn't pick up much speed. Oh dear, he groaned. We're sure to miss Henry's train now. Then with a sudden jerk, everything became easier, and Edward began to pick up a brisk pace. They reached Wellsworth quickly, and while the passengers traveled to Henry's train, Edward's fireman went to find out what happened with the guard's brake. One tiny nut, he told them when he came back. It broke, jammed itself against the brakes, so he couldn't turn the handle. Then after we started, the brake itself broke so that we could move properly. The driver laughed. Come on, Edward, he said. Let's get that guard's van into the siding where it can be mended. Who would have thought that one small nut is so much trouble? Golden Oldies. Bertie the Bus and his friends Thomas and Edward had been on the island of Sodor for a long time. I never could climb hills well, Bertie would say, remembering his race with Thomas, but I'll keep going, never feared. If you weren't red, laughed his driver, I'll probably call you a golden oldie. One summer morning, Bertie set out to his favorite trip, the Farquhar Sunday school outing. He liked being full, but he liked being full of children best. It makes a bus feel younger, he said. The party soon aboard, and Bertie purred happily away. They took the road towards the sea and stopped at Sodor, the island of Sodor's capital, to explore the cathedral and the castle. Then, after a picnic lunch, they made for the beach at Brendam, a few miles further on. While Bertie rested in the coach park, his driver joined the children and teachers on the sand. But during the afternoon, one of the teachers began to feel unwell. She said nothing at first, but grew worse and hid it no longer. By chance, one of the other teachers had been a nurse and diagnosed the trouble at once. She should be in hospital as soon as possible, she told the vicar. I'll telephone for an ambulance at once, he said, scrambling to his feet. I have a better idea, interrupted Bertie's driver. There's a direct road to the hospital at Wellsworth from here. so Bertie could be there in no time, much quicker than an ambulance could get here and back anyway. But how do we get the children home? Queried the vicar. The bus driver looked at his watch. Edward's train leaves at 5, he said. You catch that, and I'll meet you at Wellsworth with Bertie. So they telephoned the station and arranged for an extra coach to be added to the 5 o'clock train. Edward was surprised to see the children waiting. He was pleased to help. A train ride was a bonus for the outing, and the children piled happily in their special coach. Edward puffed off. And brought them to Wellsworth in fine style, where they found Bertie waiting in the yard. Your teacher is quite comfortable, his driver reported. Bertie did splendidly, and because he got there in such good time, the doctor said that the lady should be back at home quite soon. Bertie grinned happily, and Edward winked at him. It's nice to know that some of us oldies are still useful, isn't it?